Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Allie and today we are prepping for my 2021 Wyoming elk hunt. I have so much to do. I have to pack my pack, shoot my bow, I've got to prep my clothes, I have to work out so physically my body is ready for this hunt. And before we jump in, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor for this video, Beam. Beam is a wellness brand that specializes in CBD. For this elk hunt, I'll be bringing some Beam hydration packs for while I'm in the backcountry, as well as some Beam Dream for good night sleeps in the van. If you're interested in learning more, I'll include information down below, as well as a coupon code that'll save you a little bit of money. So this hunt is in Wyoming, and it's the general tag, like the general elk tag in Wyoming. It took me 3 points. Basically, it means that I have purchased a point for the past 3 years, and finally I was able to apply and draw this general elk tag. This tag is really cool because it is an archery tag, but it also turns into a rifle tag later in the season. And there may even be more opportunities than I even know. But what is different about this year elk hunting than any other year that I've done it is this hunt is guided. And not only is it guided, but it's going to be on horseback, and it's going to be in an area where there are grizzly bear. So never have I ever been on a guided elk hunt. I've never hunted in an area where there are grizz, and I've never hunted from horseback or with pack animals. So there are so many new experiences and opportunities that will come from this. I used to ride horses when I was younger. So the idea of hunting with horses or mules or any type of pack animal is really exciting to me. And that's not something that I feel like I could do DIY on my own. So the fact that it's a guided hunt and I'll have someone there to facilitate the entire thing, and I really want to kill an elk. I have spent 5 seasons hunting elk DIY, public land, over the counter. And every year I feel like there's been some sort of excuse or reason why it hasn't worked out. Like last year and in 2017, I feel like those 2 years I should have killed an elk. And then honestly, the other 3, there were personal things going on. 2015 was my first year ever hunting with a compound bow. I only had 1 hunting season under my belt prior to that year. So I was so young, which isn't really an excuse. It's just sort of like a fact, the way that it was. 2016, I had a lot of personal things going on. That was just a really bad year for me in general. In 2019, I waited until the day before the season to buy my over-the-counter tag. I used to be a resident in Idaho. I'm no longer a resident in Idaho. And when I went to purchase the tag, all of the non-resident quota had filled up before the season started. And that has never happened in the history. So it was just, I mean, it was totally my fault. I should have bought it well in advance, but I was under the, I don't know, assumption that it wasn't going to sell out, and then it did. So that was a total fluke and mistake on my part, and that just totally ruined elk season for me that year. So with all of that, like so much history around hunting elk, and I've never killed one, and I'm not good at hunting elk. So I'm really, really excited to be able to learn from someone who is experienced and knowledgeable, and just to soak in the experience like a sponge. So with all that said, I need to be ready to perform. I need to be physically fit, which it doesn't happen a couple days before you go. I've been working on that. And I also need to be ready archery-wise, which I've also been working on. And we're gonna continue to do that today. So sorry for the long intro. I know that was a lot, but let's get to packing. Let me set up a light. Better? Is that too bright now? Start with the pack. This is the Mystery Ranch Metcalf. I hunted with this last season. It's dirty, she's loved. In this first bag, we have Sawyer filter. Sawyer filter, bag to fill it up. Definitely packing this. These are foldable plates. Oh, you think that sounds like food, huh? These might be more like van, necessities. Backcountry meal, I'll bring that for the van. Right here, this is a packable pillow. Spork, yes. Sleeping pad, this is one by Nemo. It's a blow up one. Definitely bringing this. Beam, some coffee. This is a flask. I will be bringing that. Next, bino harness. I will be packing this along. My binos, I believe, are in the safe, so I will be sure to grab those. This has a little windicator in it. I'll keep that in there. One of the things that I'm going to make sure that I do is explain to the guide, my reason for this guided hunt isn't for you to guide me so that I can kill an elk. It's for me to learn from you so that I can become a better hunter and become better at doing this on my own. Hopefully I will be calling as well, and the guide will work with me and teach me and be a mentor for me. That's what I'm hoping for. But I have to be the one to speak up to let him know that that's what I want, because most clients do just want, lead me to the elk, I'll shoot, and then I kill my elk. That's not the experience that I want. I want to learn from this experience. This little pouch is for my rangefinder. My rangefinder is in my bow case, so that will go in there as well. I also, I don't know why I just got an accent, like to put my tags, my hunting tags in the back. Oh, look, actually. Those are old tags. Aw. Old unfilled tags. I like to put my hunting tags back there so that I always know where they're at, and my license. Next, water bladder, must. Here's another Sawyer filter. This one's the Sawyer Mini. I don't know if you can see that. I might swap out this one for this one. We'll see. Fuel canister. I probably, again, won't need it because it's a guided hunt, but I'm bringing it for the time that we'll spend in the van before the hunt. Yes, here we have my med kit. I used to be a paramedic, so I've got quite a bit of medical experience, and having a med kit in the backcountry is super important. This is a My Medic bag. This is where I got all of the contents of my little backcountry version, but inside this med bag there's a lot more. So this will come with us in the van. Then we've got game bags. I don't know if you guys actually got to see it yet, but I bought a van. Nick and I bought a van, and it is so cool, and it's going to be even cooler. I will do a walkthrough of that later, but I keep talking about the van. You'll see the van in a little. Here we have, this is a big cook set. I will definitely bring this one with us in the van. So it's got 2 bowls. It's got 2 little drink holders. These are great for coffee, for booze. And then the actual stove fits in there. And that is what will go on my fuel canister. So this is a must for the van. This is a must. This is for glassing. So you set your binoculars on there, and then this is on a tripod, absolute must. So I just realized, this bag, this second bag, Nick has already packed for the van. So we have little lights in here. We have a ton of Beam. These are the hydration packs. We also have some Beam Dream. This one's unopened. It's a brand new one for sleeping on the road. And then we've got plates. He actually already has a bunch of fuel in here. So this is, Nick does a lot of the organizing. If you can't tell, I am unorganized for the most part, and Nick is extremely organized. So that bag's already ready to go. Other than knives for processing, my binos and my rangefinder, which I've already made a note of. I think my pack is pretty good. I think we can move on to clothes. I wasn't kidding when I said that we're really doing this together. This is most of my camo. Let's start with pants. I think I want to bring these pants. I'll probably bring 2. These pants are by Fall Raven. They're some of my favorites for women. I really enjoy solid pants because I'm able to wear them when I'm hunting, and then of course in more natural scenarios, like if I'm just hiking, if I'm doing some other type of adventure that is not hunting, solid pants are the winner. I have my rain jacket, which I definitely will need. Ooh, these are good. Some merino wool base layers, definitely. Here's a mid-weight merino layer, good. Lightweight merino layer, check. These are so good though. I might bring these too. This is by a brand called Artelect. I hope I pronounced that right. Artelect. Holy crap. So good. These ones are super lightweight though. So that might be like, again, because I have the luxury of driving in the van, I can make a game time decision to see like exactly which ones I want to bring based on the weather. Beanie, here is, I love this. I have a lightweight insulating piece. That makes sense. This is very light, very packable, perfect for a backcountry hunt. Oh, I just found my other glove. I'm definitely bringing these gloves. I lost it while I was hunting last year here in Pennsylvania, and I just found it the other day while I was out foraging for mushrooms. So that is great. This is so lame to say out loud, but I'm going to bring a Sitka setup and a First Light setup strictly for photos. That's what feels so dumb to say out loud. I normally just mix and match. I pick my favorite things, whatever best fits the environment, what I'm hunting in. But Mick always reminds me how important visually from a photo standpoint it is to have a cohesive look or cohesive outfit. So I will bring a Sitka setup and I will bring a First Light setup so that I have some different options. Totally unnecessary. I think the idea of having to match your camo is so silly, but because, you know, this is on film and it's just like a different thing, it is important for me to have a setup. This will be my First Light puffy jacket, and now I just need Sitka top layers. Hair gaiters. These are some like headband type deals. Keep my hair back. As far as gear care goes, it gets pretty specialized. I made a video about how I re-waterproof my rain jacket, so I have specific stuff for my rain gear. Then for my boots, I have a fabric and leather waterproofing spray that I'll use. For my wool, like when I have really nice merino wool that I'm taking care of, I'll use a wool wash. For down jackets, this is actually mostly for like my sleeping bags. I'll wash with this because none of these jackets are actually down. So this is more for like sleeping bags, gear-wise. And then this is a like a scent-focused laundry detergent. This one actually has a scent. It has a fresh earth scent, which basically just tastes like, smells like pine needles and dirt. It smells amazing. So this is mostly for my whitetail hunting, but I still end up wearing a lot of these clothes for whitetail hunting, and I kind of feel like it can't hurt. So for like my pants and anything else like my gloves, things like that, I will use this. Let's shoot the bow. Here is the official arrow. It's an Easton Axis 5mm arrow. My draw length is 28.5 inches. So these are cut to 27.5 inches, not including the nock. Obviously that adds some length to it. I have a 50 grain brass insert glued to, glued? It is glued in the front that I installed, that it's like seamless, it goes inside of it. So the broadhead fits flush. Speaking of broadheads, I am going to be using the same one that I used last year just because I know they fly good on my bow. And I just had a good experience with them last year. These are by NAP. They are just a solid fixed blade broadhead. And again, I used these last year and I had a great experience with it with this exact setup. So that's the broadhead. Fletchings, these are also, are these by NAP? These are quick fletch, and they are very, very easy. Yeah, these are by NAP as well. They're very easy to install. I have 6 arrows ready to go. I have a 4 arrow quiver that's actually already been mailed. I'm retiring my quivalizer. I feel bad because I love the idea of it and I think that it's really great maybe for certain people in certain situations, but I just, for my transition from elk to whitetail and everything, I just have gone with something very simple and lightweight. And here's my bow, PSE Evo NXT 33. I still have the same old HHA sight that I've been using. And if you can see on here, I had to make a custom tape for this because I am officially shooting just over 52 pounds. And with my heavy arrows that weigh like, God, 445 grains, I believe, my arrow speed is down to like 238, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And the arrows just, they just tank. So I had to make my own custom one because the tapes that HHA provide didn't even work on my super slow, dinky bow. I have a lot to say about my draw cycle and the way that I shoot with this particular setup that I'll talk about in a minute once we actually start shooting. And then for stabilizers, I haven't decided which I'm going to use yet, but I have this guy from Matthews that I was shooting on my Avail, and then I have this bee stinger, which I was shooting on an old Hoyt that I had. This Matthews is heavier than this bee stinger, so I might just play around and see what actually fits best on this bow. But because I've nixed the quivalizer, I've got to add a different stabilizer. So it'll be one of these two. And then for my release, I'm using this by Scott. It is the molded grip release that I used to hate and now I freaking love. It's so good. That's pretty much it. Let's practice. I'm going to just throw my hair up and then zipper this so that it doesn't get in the way. Let's move my mic. Hi, puppy girl. What are you doing? You wanna watch me shoot the bow? Okay, I think that's good there. From right here, should be about 40 yards. 41. Oh, that's really heavy. Hi. Oh. Okay. Does make me nervous when you're watching me like this. It shouldn't, but maybe that's some good simulated pressure. Oh my God. So heavy. Right in between, or was it? We'll see. Let's take a look. My first shot, I was a little bit nervous. And then the second two felt pretty good, but ew, they're all high, man. Well, one's okay, but that's way higher than I like typically, but here you go. Okay, that is the first group at 40 yards. Also, our target's kind of falling apart. She's well loved. Before I shoot my next round, I want to talk about my draw cycle. So I'm obviously struggling to get the bow back. It's really heavy for me. And I know it's not pretty. I know it's not conventionally correct. But point is, in Wyoming, the legal minimum weight for a compound bow, the draw weight, for a big game animal like an elk, I think for moose and maybe a couple others, it has to be 50 pounds. It cannot be lower than 50 pounds. So I cannot draw 50 pounds with a high elbow. So my thought was, well, since I can't draw with a high elbow anyways, why don't I see how high I can get, which is only just over 52 pounds, since I'm going to be drawing low anyway. So that's why it is the way it is. For me, hunting elk, I feel very strongly that I need to be pulling as much weight as I can. For whitetail season, I would totally consider dropping the weight down to a more comfortable weight. I wouldn't be worried hunting whitetail with a lower poundage. It's just for elk. That big old thick hide, those big old thick bones, that's why I'm pushing it as hard as I can, or as high as I can in terms of weight. That's why I have heavier arrows, because I need as much penetration as I can get. But heavy arrows cost you on speed, and the faster the heavier your draw weight, the faster your bow will be. So it's balancing all of those things. And again, based off of how this exact setup functioned last year, I feel confident that it will be great for elk. So that's why. I know it's confusing, and I know, like, I understand why it's not great form. I fully understand that, but it's frankly just what I have to do as a hunter hunting elk. So yeah, so let's shoot, whatever. Let's work out. It is time for the last step in my elk prep process, and that's working out. This is the end of the video, so unless you want to watch a time lapse of me killing myself, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so excited to share this elk hunt with you guys, and just this whole fall in general is going to be amazing. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Unless you watch me die, and then, well, I'll be seeing you a little longer.